Hey mate, I'm Alex.
I'm Gaston.
Welcome to PowerMates.
This is a place to learn and share about Fabric and Power Platform. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel with your friends and colleagues.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most exciting new features in Microsoft Fabric, AI skills. This powerful feature lets you bring AI directly into your data workflows with just a few clicks. In this video, we will explore what AI skills are a game changer and how you can use them with some taxi data. So let's get started. So, quick question, Gaston. Can you explain us what is exactly AI skills in the fabric space?
Yeah, of course, Alex. AI skill in Microsoft Fabric allow you to apply advanced AI models directly within your data pipelines and reports. Think of it as having an AI at your fingertips, so no need for complex coding or external tools, whether you want to classify data or detect anomalies or even predict outcomes. AI skills make it accessible and seamless. So let's go for a quick example. Today we will see how it works with real world data sets. The
Mhm.
taxi trips data, we already have that in our data warehouse,
Mhm.
which includes thousands of records on taxi rides, fares, distance, and more. So our goal is to gonna be to use taxi trips data set to predict trip durations and analyze customer satisfaction based on trip characteristics. These insights can be incredibly valuable for optimizing
Mhm.
operations or improving customer experience in the transportation industry. So first, let's navigate to the AI skills sections in Microfabric. Let's go step by step on that process. You can browse through different AI models. You can include classifications, regressions, and more. So for this demo, let's go with a quick round on how to enable that. So let's go over to my machine. And as we can see in our data landscape, let's see our fabric environment. Here we have just a data warehouse. I am in the data engineer persona or role. I just open a data warehouse. I have my taxi trips data in this data warehouse. Couple of things that we need to recall. First of all, we have this data warehouse up and running. Then what I'm going to do is open the data scientist role and persona. As you can see in my new tab here, I open data scientist, and in the top of my screen we have an AI skills preview. So I need to click on this one. In our case, I'm gonna name this New York City skills. I'm gonna create on top of that. And after you create a new AI skills, you can, of course, click on any of your data within your Fabric environment. In our case, I'm gonna test this with our New York City taxi warehouse. So I'm gonna click on that one. I'm gonna confirm, and as you can see, is connecting to my data warehouse. I can click in one or two or all my tables. I can start clicking on all the tables where I want to start conducting or asking questions based on my data. Then after that, after I click on few tables, here I can in the right of my screen. And remember, on top of this, you need a Fabric F64 capacity or above that. You cannot do these AI skills or enable AI skills in a trial version of Fabric. You can either Power BI Premium P1 SKUs or F64 paid capacity. So
That is
let's
a
get
that is a
started.
good point you to remember. With
Exactly,
kind of
exactly. That's a good point. So let's do this. Let's start asking question based on our data in the data warehouse. For example, let's do a quick trip duration question like predicting trip durations. We will feed the model with our data. including factors like trip distance, pickup, drop off, locations, and so on. So the AI model can process this data and generate some of the predictions. I'm going to start with a quick question on this one. So let's ask, can we predict the duration of taxi trip based on the pickup location, drop off location, distance, and time of day? And when I send that, what I'm gonna get is a SQL query that is gonna be leveraging the power of the AI skills and return, the result based on that question. As you can see, this is all in natural language. I can get that up and running directly in our data warehouse based on the data on our data warehouse. And if we go further on this line, let's say that I am predicting or just trying to check peak hours identification, which hours of the days we see the highest number of taxi trips, and how does this correlate with trip duration and fare. So what we can do is going with next question, and in our case, which hours of the day we see the highest number of taxi trips. So we are analyzing this data, and based on our model we get, the hour of the day, the number of trips, the average, and the fare amount for that day. So this AI skill is predicting that in as part of our model. And then what is last in this piece, if
Nice.
we want to leverage the power of these AI skills in other frames, other artifacts of your fabric instance, you can, in the top of my screen, you can click on the publish option here. You can publish your AI skills. That is gonna be allowing you to define an AI skills. You can be the publishing details. As you can see, the publishing details is gonna give me a URL that I can grab from there. And then after that, what I can do is actually I can start calling this from any instance of, for example, a notebook. So let's switch to that one to clarify how to leverage the AI skills. I'm gonna go again to my workspace. I'm gonna be opening a new notebook in my case. Then when I create a new notebook, I'm gonna just rename this to give AI skills notebook. And in my case, I'm gonna be just copy one example that I have for a notebook, and then you can see that I'm importing a couple of libraries there, and I am importing from the ML flow here. And as you can see, I paste my URL for the endpoint of my AI skills, and I am asking this question: can we forecast the number of taxi ride requests during different times of the day in specific areas? As you can see, I am not, and I'm going to run this to spin up my Spark engine here. But as you can see, I am not connecting at all my notebook to any lakehouse or any data warehouse. I am just creating a whole new notebook, and I am asking the question, pointing that notebook directly to the AI skills. And as you can see, the question was, can we forecast the number of taxi ride requests during different times of the day in specific areas? And it's giving me all the areas, and it's forecasting the number of trips for each area. So it's running the forecasting for each of the areas based on the data that I already have in my data warehouse, and is applying the AI skills endpoint for that matter. So now when we publish the AI skills, it's running that directly against our data. There you have it. This is AI skills in Microsoft Fabric. Makes it incredible easy to bring AI into your workflows, whether you are predicting trips or analyzing sentiments, or the possibilities here, they are endless. So what do you think, Alex?
Oh, that's awesome. For sure, I should try that. So yeah. So what do you think, PowerMates? Let us know in the comment if you have tried the AI skills and what do you think about it. We'd love to hear your speech. And remember, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and join us on this journey.
Together, let's unlock the full potential of Power Platform and Microsoft Fabric.
Yeah. Hey mates, I'm Alex.
And I'm Gaston.
Welcome to PowerMates.
This is a place to learn and share about Fabric and Power Platform. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this channel with your friends and colleagues.
So, hello, PowerMate. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into the one of the most exciting and advancement in data analytics, AI functions in Microsoft Fabric. We'll explore how these functions can seamlessly enrich your data flows, and we will walk you through a hands-on demo with a generic dataset. Let's get started. But first of all, Gaston, tell me what are those AI functions and any relationship with the AI skills, perhaps? Or I am totally lost.
Hey Alex, first of all, you are not lost at all. Microsoft Fabric has been a game changer in unifying all the data experience, and with the introduction of AI functions, is taking a monumental leap forward. These functions empowers users to perform tasks like text summarization, translations, sentiment analysis, and more with all kind of minimal code. So imagine to being able to analyze, for example, customer feedback, detect sentiment, categorize responses, all within your existing data flows. That's the real power of AI functions in Fabric. So for today's demo, we will be using a public data set with all this data from customers, feedback, and responses. We will focus on a lakehouse table which contains all these customer informations, and we are going to be demonstrate how to enrich this data using AI functions. So let's go to my machine and let's dive into the demo. So what we are going to be seeing here, first of all, our usual pane of the Microsoft Fabric workloads. What I'm going to be doing here is, first of all, I just download to my computer a public data set with customer data. After I get that data, just to play a little bit of, learning different artifacts in my Fabric workload, I just set up data flows, and that data flow is loading the data. I can check on that, Alex. I can go to the workspace, and within the workspace, I can go directly to check a little bit on what's going on in that data. So I can go check on this, go to data flows. I did a little bit of test here in the clean sentiment. What I did here was I upload my CSV file. I play around a little bit with the columns. As you can see, my sentiment analysis all over here. You can check a little bit what I was doing step by step on the process. So my first step at the right was, hey, this is my CSV file. And this CSV file was a little bit of a messing up, with a not garbage in, garbage out, as I used to say, but it was not comprehensive. So my first step was, hey, let's do this. Let's change the columns to, split by commas. They promote the headers. So I take the first row as the header. The next one was I split in columns, no, by different commas, so I get all the columns of my CSV file. Next step, hey, let's define the right data types for each column. The next one was let's rename the columns to make more sense. Sentiment, result, source, and so on. I add another column as an index column, and then I reorder a little bit all the columns. And finally, what I did was at the bottom, I define the destination. So I create a new table in my lake house that is going to be the sentiment analysis. So I create a table in my lake house. That's kind of a pre build of what I did, downloading the CSV file and then shaping my data out. The next step, and we are going into the AI functions just as the next step, I create a new notebook, and this is the notebook. The notebook is connecting to the lake house, of course. I call the lake house AdventureWorks Lake House. We have all the tables, and we can check my table here. That is the sentiment table. That is the one that I load via data flows. I have my files here. You can check that I download this public CSV file. That was the one that I use in the data flows to load the data, to transform the data, and then loading the data into this table. And last but not least, what I'm doing is I create this notebook, and the experience in the notebook to use AI functions. First of all, I need to install this library. You can check that the libraries, they are really related to OpenAI. So I am running this command to install all the libraries that I need to leverage AI functions. That is the first step. The next step, and this is just a quick example to check what I'm doing here. That is, hey, I'm loading the table from the lake house. This is the name of the lake house, and then the name of the table. So you can check here that I'm loading this table into a data frame in Spark, and then I'm displaying the columns out of my data frame. So this is just to check that I have the right data, or I'm working with the right data in my lakehouse table. And this is just to check all the rows that I have in my table. The next one is I'm going to be getting some of the libraries that I need to run AI functions. And these are the libraries, as you can check here. I'm working with ML Spark AI Functions library. And then I have the name of my model here, that is a GPT 3.5. So that is the requirement to run your AI functions. Then I have a little bit of some samples that I can run to do some analysis over my data. For example, the first one, I am loading the data frame Spark, and I'm gonna read again my AdventureWorks sentiment table. If I run this, let me remove the comments, and I'm going to run a sentiment analysis. You can check here that I am creating a sentiment data frame. I am running an AI analyze sentiment. This is by default. So I can just remove this command, and you can check that I can run AI, and then under AI, you have multiple functions that you can run. In this case, analyze sentiment. The input column in my case is sentiment, and the output column is the AI function sentiment. So the sentiment column, you can check here, that is the feedback from the client. So the sentiment column is the feedback that the client provide around the experience that they have around the product that they're leveraging. And then as an output column, I am creating an AI function sentiment. When I run this and then I display the result, when we execute this cell, the cell is loading the Spark, that is our table of sentiment. Then what we are doing here is loading the data frame in Spark and running an analyze sentiment, and we are sending the input column, that is our sentiment column from our table with all the feedback from the client, and as an output column we are defining the AI function sentiment. So let's check that column, and in that column AI function sentiment, we can see positive, negative, positive, negative based on this column here. So when the client is saying, I love this product, that is positive. The service was terrible, of course, negative. The movie is amazing, positive. I'm so disappointed with their customer support, is negative, of course. So we can compare side by side all the feedback from the client with the AI function sentiment. That is just one example of the AI functions, but let's see the next one. If I go and comment this one, and we are going to uh, stop the comment on this one, you can run corrections. And again, I am going to define sentiment as the input column and corrections as the output column, and I'm leveraging this fixed grammar. So when I run this command again, what it's going to be trying to do is getting the sentiment column from the feedback from the client, and then it's trying to correct the grammar in top of that column. So if I have any mistakes, or I let's say that I'm translate an audio and convert to text, and the text is not quite with the right grammar, you can check the grammar and correct the grammar from that column and get that as an output. That is kind of the example that we are running right now with this new AI function. So let's see the result, and based on the result, you can, keep the analysis and keep that going. In the corrections, you can see that we have another column that is corrections now, and is trying to correct every single line
Nice.
on the grammar that we have. So if you want to correct the grammar of any kind of summary, you can do that. The last example that I have here is, let's put again some of this, and let's test the translation command. So we are going to be doing the same. We are going to get the input column, that is the feedback from the client, the sentiment column, and we are going to create another column as an output that is going to be the translation. And you can check here that you can define that you are translating, in this case to Spanish, the feedback from the client. When I run this command, what it's going to be doing is getting all that column of sentiment with the feedback, and is going to translate all the feedback from the customer survey from that client line by line, and translate from English to Spanish. And let's see how good it go in terms of the translation of this column. So pretty much, it's really interesting what you can do with all these AI functions. And we invite to check this video, and we are going to be sharing with all of you, PowerMates, the AI functions documentation, because I am checking just 3 AI functions. You have a lot more to start playing around with this new feature. You can check here the sentiment that we have, and then we have all the translation. I love this product. Me encanta este producto. The service was terrible. El servicio fue terrible. The idea here is how you can translate from English to any other language, and you can check all the lines are translating from English to Spanish. And check on this, Alex, was minimal the code that I got for this app running.
Yeah, and I can see a lot of different scenarios when you kind of start using this kind of libraries and apply AI to different scenarios, and what you need to from forms data, you need to move around, you need to translate, and you are trying to train another model of something. Yeah, I can see that this is going to be super useful and nice. So, and also, as you can see, we have successfully analyzed the sentiment of a customer comment, providing valuable insight into customer satisfaction level. So this is powerful capability allowed, businesses to proactively address issues and improve customer experience on some point.
These AI functions in Microsoft Fabric open a whole new world of possibilities for data professionals, enabling kind of sophisticated data transformation and enrichments with this. So whether you are performing sentiment analysis or text summarization or language translation, these functions really integrate seamlessly into your workflows. I encourage to all of you, PowerMates, to explore these features and see how they can enhance your data products. And for more information, remember, check out the official Microsoft documentation that's going to be on the description of this video, linked to that description.
Thank you for joining us today. And if you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more insight, and as usual, hit that bell icon to stay updated on the latest comments. So until next time, keep innovating, PowerMates.
Together, let's unlock the full potential of Power Platform and Microsoft Fabric.
Yeah.
Welcome all to a new edition of Power BI and Fabric Summit 2025. We are glad to be here with Alex and Gaston presenting today and about empower your Copilot Studio with AI skills. So we are going to be covering this topic today. As soon as we started, thanks to the sponsors of this event, Microsoft to become a sponsor of the Power BI and Fabric Summit, as well Radacat to run this community event again. Uh, Quickly here, Gaston Cruz is my name. I'm Senior Director for Microsoft CAT and Slalom. I'm also Microsoft MVP in the data platform for 8 years in a row. I live in Seattle. I am from Uruguay, South America. Live in Seattle for the last 6 years. I also part of the advisory board for Microsoft Fabric Feature Partner Program and Fabric Engineer Connections. I also become a Microsoft certified trainer in the last 15 years. With Alex, we have a YouTube channel named PowerMates. I am also running Seattle Power BI user group as a leader and former member of the Microsoft Global Data Community Council, as well member of Microsoft Manufacturing Partner Advisory Council, or PAC. Let's switch to Alex for presentations.
Thanks, Gaston. Well, again, thanks all for being here. Thanks the organizers and Radakar and all the team for create this amazing event. So Alex Rostan here. I'm based on Toronto in Toronto, Canada. I'm original from Uruguay, South America, but moved a couple of years ago with my family here to Canada. I'm MVP on business applications for 5 years in a row or so. Also in the Copilot Studio and the Power Automate side of things. I work as a principal for Slalom Canada, pretty much like a Power Platform lead here for the Microsoft Center of Excellence in Canada, and also work as a cloud architect, ran a couple of Power Platform user groups here in North America and in South America. And as Gaston mentioned before, we ran the PowerMate channel, so I invite you, all of you, if you want to join to the channel and see a couple of interesting but funny videos. Let's do it. So let's start. So the agenda for today, as you can see, we are going to the intro and now a couple of a theoretical introduction on what is Copilot Studio, what is Fabric, what the AI skills are. So we are going to be all on the same page, and we can go to the demo, so you are going to understand better what we are showing on the demo. Okay, so let's start from those pretty much out of what is Power Platform. We can see that Power Platform is a suite of applications. I like say like the low-code platform in Microsoft, but it's a suite of applications, connectors, and also we have Dataverse as the, you can see Dataverse as the database for the Power Platform, but it's a little bit more than this. It's like a group of services on top of data. So quick around here on the component for the Power Platform. Power BI, of course, is the business analytic tool, so you can create reports and dashboard to visualize your data. Power Apps is the local way or Power Platform way to create applications. So we have two flavors on Power Apps. You can create Canvas app or model-driven app. So one is like you start from scratch, creating and designing your application. And the second one, model-driven applications, is more based on your data. Then we have Power Automate. we can see Power Automate as a service that help us to create automated flows, to solve, like, create repetitive tasks on all. But also we have another flavor or on Power Automate, that is Power Automate Desktop. So you can, for my perspective, Power Automate Desktop is more like RPA side of things. So you can, like, robots to perform some task on your behalf, and Power Automate Web, that is more exactly to automate some tasks and workflows and all the stuff. Then we have Power Pages, is the secure and low code platform for create public facing websites. So is a low code way, or the Power Platform way, to create secure, that is super important, but also public facing website. Of course, we have Copilot Studio, that empower, with the way that we can create Copilot or agents, as Microsoft like to say right now. So that's empower the users to enhance productivity and all the stuff. So last point here on Power Platform, we have, that is not in the image, we have Dataverse, that I already mentioned, is like the database for that. AI Builder, that is a local way to create AI models or and to solve some problems. And also the connectors, because as you may know, on the Power Platform, we have right now more than 1,011, I'd say 1,100 of connectors right now, public. So yeah, we can connect whatever we need to connect. So another quick round here, Copilot Studio, because the objective for our session today is how you can connect quickly to the AI skill and fabric. Of course, more of the focus is on the AI skill and fabric, but just in case, if you know what you don't know what is Copilot Studio, Copilot Studio is designed to elevate the user experience and integrate all the capabilities of the artificial intelligence for solve your everyday problem and task, and also perform task on your behalf. So we can say that Copilot Studio empower users to enhance their productivity through agents, or that also integrate seamlessly with various applications, systems, and data sources, and offers an AI-driven features that boost the creativity and collaboration. You can connect the Copilot Studio with Microsoft 365, SharePoint, Fabric, or any other system you have. Last two slide quickly is like Copilot that love business process, and that is effectively because we are using Copilot to solve some business process, to solve some business need. So that is why we say, like, Copilot love business process. It's not just to ask questions. It's not just to ask like, how can I configure XYZ? Is more like, can I get the forecasting for some process? Can I have some? Is more than just asking questions. Okay. And the last point here is the agents. So Copilot plus agent overview. So pretty much different is the Copilot is the human augmentation, work as your personal assistant, and there are only as many Copilot as there are people. But if we can compare here on what is an agent, we can say an agent is a powerful AI companion that can handle a range of interactions and tasks, from resolving issues, requirement, complex conversation, and other tasks. So as you can see here, it's a expert system that can work autonomously, work on behalf of a process or company or person. And so there could be potentially more agents than people. And the last point here before jumping to the Fabric and Gaston, and the more interesting part is like something super interesting that Satya brings up on the last Ignite, is that Copilot see Copilot as the UI for AI. Okay, so it's like your it's another user interface to integrate with your AI, to use the AI. Well, with that said, Gaston, yeah, your turn. Yeah, you can talk more about Fabric and what does effectively the AI skill and all the stuff.
Yeah, right on, Alex. Thanks. For everyone here in the Power BI and Fabric Summit, I am not going to kind of state too much on this slide because I'm guessing that everybody knows what is Fabric. Couple of things that I would love to recall. First of all, remember that Power BI is part of the Fabric family. So Power BI is not going anywhere. It's part of the same framework. As you can see, there's many different workloads, data factory, analytics, databases. That's the new one, real-time intelligence, Power BI, of course, industry solutions, and the other partner workloads. As well, I would love to reinforce the message of, as Alex mentioned before, Copilot is almost everywhere. That means that there's a whole AI capabilities within the Fabric different workloads. Of course, one lake as a one single point of truth for the backend of Fabric. And remember, that is a Delta Packet public format. As well, Microsoft Purview integration for all around data lineage, information protections, and so on. Couple of things that I would love to kind of reinforce on that meshes of Fabric. First of all, remember that there's every in every single workload you have a copilot to accelerate your experience within that workload. The other things, AI driven insights is almost everywhere and by default in many of the different workloads, and custom integration with Gen AI for your data. That means that you can spin up a new notebook in Fabric and you can call directly without any kind of a additional library or importing any kind of a different ML models. You can right away start talking with your open AI models from your notebooks or data engineer experience. That being said, you can check on this one how much Microsoft is enforcing the message of AI and Copilot is everywhere. You can check in every single workload and how you can enable your own Copilot in every single experience. That means that starting with Data Factory, you can integrate and ask questions to your pipelines in terms of how I can do transformation, how I can ingest data, how I can connect with different source systems, how I can better understand complex different tasks or activities that can enable in our pipeline process. Same happens right away in the data warehouse experience. You can write T-SQL code. You can ask Copilot to explain your queries and make any kind of intelligent suggestion on your queries and fix whatever you have in the code experience in T-SQL back there. Talking about data engineer and data scientist, you can open a notebook, and if you are not familiar with Python scripting, you can ask questions around, hey, how I can get the right insights based on my data in my lakehouse, for example. And you can fix error, you can enable, magic commands in your notebook experience to speed up the process of upskill your team in Python scripting, for example. Then in the database experience, you have Copilot to write and explain the SQL queries. You can get suggestion and you can get fixes in the way you are coding your experience in the SQL for databases. In the real-time intelligence, you can translate multiple questions in terms of, hey, I am landing data in my custom database, how I can speed up the process of creating this query, or I need to transform the data in my event streams in this way or filter the data. You can ask Copilot for that, and that experience is GA and available right now. You can go with Power BI and ask Power BI questions around, hey, I don't know too much about Power BI. I would love the support from Copilot to create report pages or even using natural language to do summaries or create synonyms or create new visuals or ask questions around suggestion based on the data that you already have in the semantic model. Of course, remember, one of the insights from my end, if you are adding garbage in your data, you're going to get garbage out, so be familiar to spend some time working on your
Yeah.
data landscape. You need to be working on your semantic models, and you need to create kind of the right relationship, right measures to be able to ask questions to your Copilot and get really clear and great insights out of Copilot. That is one of the things. Going to our main topic right now, AI skills in Microsoft Fabric. What means to leverage this new feature, or how is gonna be, this new feature help us in terms of leveraging AI skills to talk with your data. That is the main purpose of all of this, exposing AI skills to business users, and they can keep going and keep asking questions in terms of the data that you're landing into your Fabric environment. So, that being said, first of all, remember this is still in public preview. uh, and as you can see in this screen, you can just create in any workspace. Remember, of course, that you need to enable Fabric in your tenant. Then, as an admin, you need to enable the AI skills to get this feature up and running within your environment. Then, in any workspace where you land and you assign a Fabric capacity, remember that this should be under F64 capacity, where you can land a new AI skills, but this allow the users to talk directly with your data in Microsoft Fabric. So you can create the new skills, you can configure what is your data source. For now, I can do this with a lakehouse. I can attach my lakehouse, but then remember, there's a lot of upcoming new sources for skills. That means that you can integrate this with a lakehouse. Soon you're going to be able to integrate this with a semantic model. You can integrate this with different artifacts in the Fabric family. So that is mostly the experience within Fabric for what we call the creators of the AI skills. Then let's come together with the connection to the consumers of the data. And that means that you can see a little bit more the landscape here, where you have, first of all, the creation of the AI skill. Then, how you can leverage natural language that allow you to start training in some way your AI skills to interact with your data. So that is kind of a chat canvas that allow you to start writing in natural language, and that allow you to start debugging and making easier to any business users to understand and refine a little bit the response from that AI skills. Then remember, as I mentioned before, now you are able to connect to a lakehouse, but soon you're going to be able to connect with lakehouse and interact with the semantic models, interact with that event house and KQL databases. So you can create a little bit more powerful experience on any data expert talking with your data based on the domain that they lives. And then your data agent can be consumed out of Fabric, and that is really a powerful
Mhm.
thing. That it's not just that I get the AI skill, I create the artifact in my Microsoft Fabric environment, and that's all. You're gonna be able to go to a notebook in Fabric and call the AI skill via SQL endpoint. But also, the powerful thing here is Alex is going to be able to connect my AI skill and expose the AI skills and connect that via Copilot Studio. I can expose that to Microsoft Teams. I can expose this to Power BI Copilot. Can expose this to Azure AI Foundry or via REST API. So what is coming in the roadmap is amazing in terms of how much you can consume the powerful insights out of these AI skills. And that is really meaningful, because at the end of the game, you can start talking with your AI skills via Microsoft Teams, like any other chat, and you
Mhm.
can start questioning things based on your data, like, give me the forecast of sales for the next 6 months. Give me the sales for the last Q4 in 2024. Give me the sales breakdown by country in my organization. And you can start asking questions without interacting with Power BI, without knowing anything about any fabric item, just using or leveraging any of these tools right away. This is how a flow end to end is covered in AI skill. You start just with the creation of the AI skills from scratch. It's just a new item in your Fiverr environment. So you can track the lineage of the item. You can manage the permission to that item of AI skills. You can share, of course, the AI skills within your organizations with other people in your environment. You can just select a data source. You can check there that is already available for lake houses, is already available for data warehouse, is coming for semantic models and to event house KQL databases. And you just select which tables you want to consume as part of the AI skills configuration. Then you go to the step of, hey, let's configure and let's give instructions to the AI skills. And let's give a little bit of prompting. What kind of questions I would love to be able to answer with the AI skills. And then the last piece on this end-to-end solution is, hey, let's publish our AI skills. And we publish the skill, we create a published version of the AI skills, and that version can be shared with consumers. So then, in the end of this layer, the consumers can get the published AI skills and embed that experience within different frameworks. And that means you can consume the AI skills directly from a notebook experience in Fabric. You can consume this when you are creating a new agent in Copilot Studio. You can consume AI skills via Microsoft Teams and embed that in your Teams channel. You can embed that in a Power BI Copilot experience or Azure AI Foundry as well. You can, let's say that you're creating a web application in your organization and you can consume that endpoint of the AI skills via a REST API that is coming soon as well. Let's go to the fun piece right now, and let's go directly and share a little bit of a demo of what is right now the landscape around Copilot Studio and then the creation of an AI skills from scratch.
Okay, so let's start creating the Copilot Studio. So as you can see here, I'm just in Copilot Studio Microsoft.com preview because it's a preview tenant, but it's like copilotstudio.com. So let's create a Copilot and see, for those who maybe never has created a Copilot, say, okay, what that means, what the heck is a Copilot, Alex? Okay, let's create the Copilot. And so you can see how easy is create a Copilot, and then how easy would be connect with AI skills. And the second part and it's going to take the most part of the demo is Gaston showing the AI skills. That I think is the core point here, because connect the Copilot is not the big deal. The big deal is how to create AI skill and make it work. Okay, so let's create a Copilot here. You can, as you can see here, you can just came here and on natural language say I need a Copilot to perform XYZ or do something. I am not using this. Is like a Copilot for create a Copilot. I see like an inception, but it's great. But let's create the Copilot on a traditional way here. So let's click on create. Let's create a new agent that you can see here. For those maybe out, you have a lot of pre-built Copilot with an template, so you can start working and here and see how it's worked for safe travels, website QA, team navigator. So there's a lot of good starting point if you want to start to exploring, okay, what is possible with Copilot Studio, and also for my perspective, validate that it's easy and is the right technology on what you need to solve on your site. So let's create a new agent here. So here, same thing. You can start like saying to the Copilot that I need a Copilot to connect with the AI skills in Fabric, or I need a Copilot to book flight or tickets or booking hotels. What you need, or even create tickets on some issues system, or a lot of things you can do here, and the Copilot is going to guide you through how you need to create your Copilot. But let's skip that. So let's skip the configure and go to directly to create here, because create the Copilot, uh, it's pretty simple. So now what I want to show you is, okay, this is the agent is created, so you need to start configure. The point here is that there's a section here that the name is knowledge here, you know. So you can add knowledge bases. What it means, knowledge bases, is you can add a source, a knowledge source, in order to allow the Copilot or the agent on some point to answer you questions. So you can, let's click here on add knowledge. And the first we see is public website. We see SharePoint. We see Dataverse. What that means that you can quickly create a Copilot connected with SharePoint, and that's going to answer you questions about documents or informations that you have in SharePoint. Again, you need to connect to SharePoint, and then maybe you need to work on permissions, because how Copilot Studio integrate with SharePoint is you connect with SharePoint, so every user that use your Copilot or your agent is going to get information depends of the permissions they have on your SharePoint environment or tenant. And same thing with Dataverse and all. Okay, and also you can just upload files. If you want to try something easy, you can upload a couple of PDF Word document here on click browse, and you, after you publish that and the knowledge base is load and ready, you are going to be able to ask questions about the information and the content of your files. So that said, the point that is really interesting right now, if we can here to advance, and you are going to show an available here, because here in this state, and I can click, but believe me, when that is open, you click here on the Copilot Fabric, that is going to prompt you. This is going to prompt you and ask about that create a connection. So there's going to be two ways to create a connection. One is just create a direct connection with Fabric and use your credential, or also you are going to be able to create like a service principal and use the key and application ID and key. That would be the better way to create a Copilot and then connect to Fabric, because you are not like on some way sharing your credentials alone. So after you click here, the prompt is going to jump, you connect, click close, and then you're going to have ready your knowledge base here to start working with your agent. So what I'm going to do right now is jump, head over to Gaston machine to show how he create the AI skill and get ready and published for use.
Right on, Alex. So, pretty much what I'm going to be covering here is, as you can see, and this is kind of a latest version of Fabric in terms of the interaction. Remember that you used to have different workflows. Right now, you switch between the Fabric experience or the Power BI experience right away with the icon that you see in the left of my screen. With this icon, you can switch between one experience or the other. So, in this space you have, and you are able to switch between Fabric, or you can just switch to the Power BI experience and just working with your artifacts in the Fabric space, as we all know. In this case, let's do this kind of a little bit of recap. First of all, remember that the AI skills is going to be attached to a lake house or to a data warehouse. So first of all, we need to be able to see that we have our lake house or the house. In my case, I already have in this workspace. You can check that I have a PowerMates demos lake house up and running, and I was able to uh, add some data on this one. I have a couple of tables here, and I have some files as well with some folders there, some images here as well. You can see some simple data sets. Remember that the lakehouse and the experience in the lakehouse allow you to work with unstructured data, as we can see here in the file sections. And remember that we have file section for unstructured data, bunch of CSV files and park it in my case, and then the structure section with some tables that already have on this one. One is the city safety settle table, and the other is the public holiday. And I can check on public holiday and see a little bit of a preview of that data. You can check that for mostly a lot of different years, starting with the year 71, 70, 72. We list a bunch of public holidays for different countries, and we name those holidays, and we have uh, kind of basically data up and running, and we have a paid time off, for example, to detect what are those paid time off in each of those countries. So based on this data, I can start talking with my data. That is the meaningful thing out of AI skills. So what I should be doing next, I can go to the workspace. I can click on the new item here. I can go and do the resource filtering by the item. In my case, I already put this as a favorite, but remember that you can go to all items, go to the filtration, add something like AI skills or something around AI, and you can check the AI skills. And right away from the AI skill experience, you can go there and put some name like the Power BI and Fabric Summit as the name of my new AI skill. Then, when you are creating that AI skill, you're gonna go and say, hey, how I can interact with my data. You need at least to give AI skill a source of your data. And remember, for now, there's upcoming soon for custom databases or for semantic models. For now, you're going to be able to do this with Lakehouse or with Data Warehouse. In my case, I'm going to connect with my PowerMates Lakehouse and confirm on that one. It's going to leverage in the connections to that Lakehouse. I can see the couple of tables that I shared with all of you before. Uh, I can click in one or more tables to get started. And once I click in one or more tables, I can get started and I can start asking questions. Just couple of advices around this one. Remember that you need to understand your data. I am switching back to the lakehouse to keep coming and checking, hey, what is going to look like to ask questions in natural language, and what is going to be the result for this AI skill. So for example, I'm going to do this. You can check that there are many countries back here. So if I go back to my AI skill, uh, I can go and say, hey, what about if I ask this question? How many holidays we have in Australia? This is my first question of my AI skill. So I'm kind of training with examples based on my data. And then it's gonna go into all the table. And because we have many years, it's gonna be doing a count of, and you can check that it's giving me the result of the query of number of holidays in Australia in all those years, but as well is showing me what is going to look like the
Mm.
SQL statement that I need to write to get that result. And this is not just, training your model, is training the way you are prompting against that model. So this is not just the only way I can interact with my AI skills. I can go ahead and say, hey, give me, for example, a breakdown of that list, and it's getting the context because you already asked one question. So I
Mhm.
can go again and say, hey, give me a breakdown of uh, list by year. So I can go ahead and say, hey, give me that breakdown, but I want to list by year. So in all the countries, I want to say, hey, in 1982, how many, you know, holidays I have that year, and that is giving me a group by. As you can see, the select statement back there, you can get the select year and count. And group by year and the date on that one. I can go and say, hey, I want to see how many public holidays I have in Australia, but only those one that they are flagging as paid time off between the years 1980 and 1985, let's say. So I can give a little bit more details on what is the request that I'm giving to my AI skills, and I can send that query in natural language, and it's gonna be getting the insight. Hey, how many time off I have in this table, but only for Australia, and it's gonna be listing all those holidays with the names. And you can check the select statement back there that is doing a whole select statement uh, on holiday names from the public holidays table, and
Nice.
where the country is Australia, the pay time off flag is equal one or true, and then getting the dates between 1980 and 1985. So it's really clear, giving me the answer just based in the natural language, questions or query that I sent to the AI skills before. So I can keep playing around with this, to train the model. But, after I finish to play a little bit and train this model with all these kind of natural language examples, I can do a couple of things. First of all, I can save this AI skill here, but I can expose to share these AI skills with other people outside this chat canvas, and that is the publish option back here. So I can hit the publish option, and when I hit the publish option, I can, of course, tell people what I'm doing. This this AI skill is trained to answer questions around public holidays in several countries, something like that. And so I can go here and say, hey, this is to share how I can publish the AI skills. And then when I publish the AI skills, I can check, after we are publishing the skills, I can check on the details on that one. And in the settings, this is the way you are going to be interacting with the AI skills. So I can go to the publishing section here, and you're going to see the URL that is getting exposed by my AI skill. So what means this? When I said, hey, you can embed this in your web application, you can embed this in your Copilot Studio, you can embed this in your Power BI Copilot, you only need to use this URL to access the AI skills. And as well, of course, if you are inside Fabric and you want to leverage this in a notebook experience, into data engineer experience, you can do that. Of course, you can keep doing that directly in the Fabric environment, or you can expose these externally to all these consumers that I mentioned before: Teams, Copilot Studio, web application via REST API, or Power BI Copilot as well. So this is pretty much the presentation that we have for all of you today. I hope that this resonates with everyone here. Going back to our presentation, of course, we are going to be ready to answer questions. Hopefully, you can connect with us via email, via LinkedIn, via X, or should I say Twitter. But you can also go to our PowerMates channel and
Yeah.
subscribe to that channel. We keep going with many presentations, and of course, stay online, because in one of the slots we are going to be answering some Q&A for the session. So we are going to be live there and covering some of the aspects and some of the questions from the community. I'm really glad that we made this happen. I'm really glad that we are in another edition of Power BI and Fabric Summit. Thanks for the sponsors. Thanks for Reza to invite us again, and hope that these bring a lot of insights to the community. Uh, Go back to you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Gaston. Yeah, just to, in addition to that, is like thanks all to be here again. Thanks the organizers and all. Uh, I hope you can take some of our demo today and start using and think, okay, what else? What I can do? How I can work with those combination of technology? That's the objective. And as Gaston mentioned, if you have any doubt or something, you can connect with us on our social medias. And if you want to learn more about Power Platform and Microsoft Fabric, just join to the channel and let's fun together. See ya.
Thank you.